Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another round of Super Rugby Pacific. This one, round 13. It's quite the way to kick off this round of Super Rugby. We've got Moana Pacifica at home at Mount Smart Stadium taking on the Crusaders. Now, everyone is still jockeying for those finals positions. Unfortunately for Moana Pacifica, just hasn't been their season. They are yet to get themselves a victory, but that has not really dampened their spirits. They still come out each and every week, try and get themselves that one win in their column. But they're looking like a strong side out here today up against the Crusaders side, who are missing a few of their regular faces. No Richie Moonga, and then no Whainā Nuku, which does mean this gives Moana Pacifica a great opportunity. See if they can pull off their first victory. Looking through at their side, it is Abraham Pulley in the front row alongside Sam Mulle, and Chris Apua. Then Michael Curry and Mike McKee going to be as the locking duo. Miracle Felangi at number 6, Alamana Matanga at 7, and then Solomoni Funaki, the big man, at number 8. Eritara Enery up against his old side at 9. Christian Leliafano, a huge amount of experience for him. He'll be starting as the number 10. Noria Famai, Levi Moa, Finian Nisi, Tima Whainā Nuku, so not going to get the chance play up against his brother Lester and Willie Harvili there at number 15. Same could be said about him with David Harvili. But looking through at the Crusaders starting lineup, Sykes Martin, Brodie McAllister, and Tamaiti Williams. They're at the front. Scott Barrett and Zach Gallagher as the two locks. Sione Harvili, Corey Callow, and Cullen Grace. They're at number 8. Noah Hotham starts at 9. He's been quite a good player for the Crusaders throughout this season, been filling that gap quite nicely. Fergus Burke at 10, Macca Springer, Dallas McLeod, Jack Goodyew, Che Fiaki, and Will Jordan, the rest of the starting side for the Crusaders. We have got Reed in the chat. Also, Barnes is here. He has said hello. Welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing well. And then Novmum has said they can only play Pride. That is true. And Moana Pacifica, we know they're a prideful side. They will go out there, give absolutely everything they've got. They had so many unlucky games this season, some of which they've been so close, and then at the end of the game, it starts to get a little bit more one-sided. They've walked away with, I believe, 3 points so far, all from being within 7, including their game where they were all but able to defeat the Blues. But Fergus Burke gets us underway for round number 13, nicely taken by William Harvili inside of Moana Pacifica's 22 currently. But I feel this game, similar to what we saw between Moana Pacifica versus the Hurricanes, it's going to be a high-scoring affair. Both sides getting their fair share of tries here. Christian Leliafano tries the kick, and it's already partially charged down, so I believe it will actually be a Moana Pacifican throw here. Doesn't look like he's too angry about that one. Christian Leliafano to start us off. A big charge down from Sione Havili Talatui right up there. I feel like he's one of those players who could easily fit in with this Moana Pacifica loose forward trio and find some real success, but that is a successful line-out steal for the Crusaders. Now, in the midfield, it will be the big man at number 6, Sione Havili, the one who I just mentioned. Hotham goes off to the right. Now, I am not much of a betting man, but I would say Brodie McAllister's rolling maul here for the Crusaders has a pretty good shot. Will Jordan dropping the ball early. They already had the advantage, though. They will go back for the original Crusaders penalty. And I would like to think we're not going to see too many three-pointers taken throughout this game. I think it's going to be all-out action, everyone just trying to get as many points as physically possible. Similar to Moana Pacifica versus the Hurricanes. Whereas that game later on tonight between the Reds and the Blues, I think it's going to be a lot more strategic play in terms of when to take the 3 and when not to. You reckon over 61 points, says NPC Tony? Yes, I think, but please do not put a large amount of money on it. And if you lose, do not blame us. I've had that way too many times. The amount of people who have messaged me saying, oh, you said that someone was going to score and they didn't, so I lost a whole heap of money because of you. Like, the amount of times I get that, it's quite common on the channel. What's your score prediction? I think it's going to be about 42 points to 18 in favor of the Crusaders. I've just realized adding that up, that's 60 points, Tony, rather than 61, so that's a bit of an awkward number, isn't it? I have my date on my surgery, 6th of June, which is a week before the quarterfinals, so I likely won't be able to go to any of the Chiefs finals games. Hopefully they do end up doing you proud. They get themselves right up there in the overall standings. That's going to be a great tackle made there on Cullen Grace. 10 metres out from the line. Will Jordan runs and gets nailed in the tackle by Abraham Pulley. And now the big man, Tamaiti Williams. 15 metres out, Grant Swartz Said to get as many points as possible. It's kind of the point of sports, is it not? Says Grant, it is. But sometimes strategy kicks in. You know, you look at someone like, oh, that's gone wide. You look at a Northern Hemisphere team in some instances, maybe Leinster is a good example. You would think that with the attack that they've got, they would take sevens every opportunity they get. But sometimes you got to slow it down. You got to take that 3 points every once in a while, which some would be like, why would you do that? That's not 7 points. What a goose. But sometimes a 3-pointer can be very handy. Definitely in a close game. These were quick hands from the Crusaders going out wide. Didn't get it right. What's the score at the moment? It is 0-0. The scoreboard is yet to tell us that, though. They don't realize the game started, but yeah, it's still 0-0 after 3 minutes. So we'll watch from home. It says Nova and Moana Pacifica are not going to low. Go. Moana Pacifica are not going to go, maybe, from Levi. Own scrum feed success, 97% for the Crusaders, whereas 78% for Moana Pacifica. So nowhere near as high as the Crusaders have been. Eritara Emery feeding the ball in now. Won't know what way to feed it. He's been at the Crusaders for 5 years in the past. Now going off to the left-hand side to Levi Moore in the midfield. Tackled well, though, low by Dallas McLeod. Sup. There's Amelia. Welcome in. They've been told to use it. Eritara Emery kicks it high. Looking for the touchline. Will just about get there. Yes, he does. Good clearing kick from Eritara Emery. Now about 42 metres out from the line here. Big run, though, from Levi Moore. Always a crash ball specialist. We've said maybe his All Black debut could be just around the corner as well. Good luck with the surgery. Speedy recovery. There's Grant there as well. Have you changed your profile picture, Grant? Did you used to have a different one and then you went back to the original one? Maybe? Because I think you had a picture of your face for a while, didn't you? But then before that, I think you did have the speech bubble one. Unless you've got 2 accounts, that is. Managed to get Hogwarts Legacy and Red Dead 2 this week in AFL Evo 2. Nice one. I haven't actually played any of the AFL games on Xbox or console or anything. Now around the short side. Only 10 metres out from the line now for Moana Pacifica. Very high chance until they drop the ball. I was going to say very high chance we see someone cross the white line there, but no. Has been dropped. Scoreboard still not realising there's a game on, but that's all right. We forgive it. That's what we got to do. Go like this. And like this as well. It's actually quite interesting seeing the odds for this match because they're saying a majority of the time there's just as much of a chance that Moana Pacifica players are going to be able to get themselves tries as the Crusaders. Deep breaths though being taken. Christian Leliafano really got to work it out. And that is correct, sir. This is my original profile pic. There says Grant. See, I keep an eye on things. I have a memory that's almost too good at times, but shocking at other times. I got a message yesterday on Xbox from someone. They were like, hi. And it was from like 2 years ago when apparently I played GTA with them when I was a low level for like a day. And I was like, how do you remember that? But I probably should have been able to remember that. That's a nice kick in behind for Willie Harvili to pick up. That's a knock on though. And I believe now everyone knocking the ball on. Is that Ethan Blackadder? No, that's Corey Kello trying to be Ethan Blackadder. Never mind. He's got the same haircut. Must have gone to George Bauer and said, I'll have whatever Blackadder's having. It's a good kick in behind because you wouldn't expect it from Levi and Moore. The Highlanders are going to make the playoffs. They win tomorrow. Tomorrow they'll be close, but it's still going to be pretty tight near the end of the competition. Couldn't find the white PS4 controller I wanted, so I settled for the red one. Got a headset that works, says Amelia. And good evening, Hamish. How many games you planning to stream on the channel tonight? Just the 2. We have got this one between Moana Pacifica and the Crusaders. And then we've got the Blues taking on the Reds just a little bit later on. So 2 games today. 3 Super Rugby games tomorrow, or maybe 2, depending on schedule. And then also we have got the late night game, which is going to be taking place between Leinster and La Rochelle, the Champions Cup final. McLeod now goes off to the side to Will Jordan. Tackled low by Levi Moore. 7 minutes in, no side. Able to get themselves any points on the board as of yet. Big tackle coming in there. And it's a penalty. Solomoni Funaki gets over the ball, wins it for Moana Pacifica. Hey, Amish, what's going on? At the moment, we've got a bit of a stalemate. 0-0 in this game. The scoreboard does not want to tell us that the game started either, but it has. We're about, Like I mentioned, 7.5 minutes in. Yeah. Should be a it seems like it's going to be a little bit closer. Like Moana Pacifica, for as many games as they have lost this season, there's a lot of games where they've been able to hang in there with some very good sides. It's just sometimes those little moments don't quite go their way. Why doesn't the Crusaders do a haka anymore? They only really do it on extremely special occasions. Like in this case, Moana Pacifica, they did their pre-match one. I know it's not called a haka, but I can't quite think of the word for it, unfortunately. It's gone over the top of everyone. Is missing one. There was a bit of a shoulder there from Brodie McAllister, a bit of a cheap shot, but the referee says, meh, it happens. Now going over the ball here. Moana Pacifica hanging on to this one. Going off to the right-hand side, Chris Apua hits the ball up. I love to see that big man score. He is actually the least likely out of all players on the field to score a try, according to the odds. So it would be quite cool to see him knock one over. Now, Fergus Burke, another knock on there from Christian Laliafano and Moana Pacifica. Crusaders, 22 metres out, slinging it back across here nicely. Fergus Burke, no, in fact, it's Will Jordan starts to find space. One of the most sought-after New Zealand players in recent times. Everyone wants to know exactly how he's going to continue that momentum. How are you doing the next match? We certainly are. All ready to go. Nice run from Goodhue, ball on the outside. Good quick hands from Macca Springer. Gets it to Callow. Now dragged down 45 metres out from the Crusaders line. Big shot coming in on Cullen Grace, who's had a haircut as well. Everyone's decided to chop their hair at the Crusaders. Guess it keeps you busy during the week. To Mighty Williams, good crash forward. Tackled by Christian Laliafano. Now Goodhue. Nice sell, a dummy inside ball to McAllister. Hotham's off. He's got Jordan with him, but backed himself to go through. Offload up to Brodie McAllister. Off to Will Jordan, who's 1 metre from the line. Dragged down, finds the offload. And is that Sione Havili Talatui? Looks a lot like him. No, it's Christian Leo Willie, in fact, who gets over the try line for the first try of the match. This game's being streamed on Prime Live at the moment, so that's good news. They are showing a few games of Super Rugby on Prime, because normally they're a bit delayed, aren't they? That was a big shot from Tamaiti Williams, but Christian Leo Willie, a man who was able to keep up with Will Jordan, be the support runner. He's come from nowhere as well. When you see the wide shot, he's nowhere to be seen, and then all of a sudden he realises the opportunity to get up there, gets the offload away, and the ex-Islanders player does score the try. And Lee Duxie is the name. Levi, the kick is successful though, and the Crusaders now 7-0 up. But scoreboard does not agree. So we're going to have to make our own scoreboard. This one, we're going to go here, we're going to go here, and we're going to go Moana Pasifika 0. And that's now 7 for the Crusaders. There you go. That down the bottom of the screen just for now while it's decided to ignore it. And also, we've got that. I'm going to go and watch it. I'll chat with you at halftime, maybe stairs. Or I'll catch you at halftime, I should say. Yep, we will see you in a bit. Are you doing the match tomorrow and next Saturday? Now, what match next Saturday are we talking, Connor? I assume for match tomorrow, you're talking about La Rochelle Leinster. And the match next Saturday, I assume you are talking Stormers versus Munster. Maybe. Are they the matches you're talking about? If they are, we are covering both. Cullen Grace back up to his feet, not held. Now Hotham. Gonna roll this ball back now for the Crusaders. Puts it up high. This is going to be an awkward swirling one. Nicely taken there. Who is the Ronaldo and the Messi of modern day rugby? It depends on who you talk to. Because, like, that's the thing. If you're... That looked like Macca Springer almost dropped it completely and then went almost for a drop kick there. A nice offload from William Havili. But yeah, it depends on who you talk to because, of course, if you're talking about Ronaldo and Messi, you're probably saying more for the case of them being very good rather than like them being able to score goals. Because then if you're looking at try scorers, there are a lot of clinical guys who are out on the wing that most people have never even heard of. So it's a tricky one. Best rugby players in the world depends on who you talk to. Because it also depends on what country the person's from, depends on who they feel is the best type thing. So it's a very tricky one. Pick the best. In this game, if you had to pick one player to say that's just that little bit better than everyone else, that's an even harder question, I'd say. The Crusaders, I guess, for the amount that he's done, you'd probably go Barrett, I guess. Nice offload from McLeod, but it goes backwards. Now Corey Callow ends up knocking that ball on. Howdy, Hamish, Kiwi lads. Your week's been good. Still at work at the moment, says Blues Nate. It's been good. It's gone very quick. I think I say that every week, though, that the week's just gone. Yeah, we got a lot of streams over the weekend. The Sevens is back, which is going to be exciting. Position 75% at the moment for the Crusaders. Not exactly what Moana Pacifica want to see at this stage of the contest. It says time in opposition 22. 0 seconds for Moana Pacifica. But the turnover initially when Tamaiti Williams got it, it actually was inside of the 22. So I'm not sure where that stats come from. And thanks for the live commentary, mate. Go the Crusaders, go all the way. Says Dan there. And yeah, we know with the Crusaders, all they need is a top 8 position. And they're dangerous. Like, finals rugby is just when they seem to come alive. Like, some people would say they haven't had the best season, but as soon as we get to those finals, normally that's when they just go, and then they're in the final. Next Saturday's match is more important than the little game this Saturday. Kiwi Lad's mum's favourite team is playing next week. She might not actually get to watch that game, unfortunately, Grant. And also, sadly, I'm going to have to break some news to you. Me and Mumsy, we haven't been able to record that Munster versus Stormers match. It's been very busy this week. They've been getting ready, getting the suitcase packed. But me and George have played that match, so you're going to have to settle for that. It's not going to be as good for you, but a lot of funny stuff happens in that video. Busy weeks already. It's Friday and rugby fever. There's Blues and Nate. It's going to be kicked high from Christian Liliafano. 7-0 at the moment, or you wouldn't think it on the scoreboard, though. Someone is getting a demotion, I would think, at the automatic scoreboard place. And Fiji and Draw versus Waratahs. We will be covering that game tomorrow night, 9:35 p.m. Sure to keep an eye out for that one. Great low tackle made from was Naria Famai. Now Brody McAllister drives. I want to see a full-on club World Cup. The Crusaders line up against Leinster or La Rochelle. Says to me, that would be a lot of fun. Macca Springer kicks it in behind, looking for the space. It is going to sit up, though, for Christian Liliafano back in his space, but he's been hit extremely hard in the tackle by Callow and Zach Gallagher. Ball pops out on the side of the Crusaders. Now Corey Callow in that breakdown as quickly as he can. Hotham gives it off to Goodhue. Thought he was at 40s, dropped the ball. That was not a good play from the Crusaders. If you've got forwards there, use the forwards. I know Jack Goodhue, he's bulked up since getting injured, but he's still not quite that same build as one of those big boys. Is this really live on Prime? I can't find it. That is what Daniel said. So I assume so. So Prime's about channel number, is it 4 or 12 in New Zealand now? I know it used to be 4, but it might not be. You play some cricket or schedule? None at all. No. No cricket this season. Up until about October is when we start up again. The cricket season. Mate of mine and I bet that if the Highlanders beat the Rebels, I don't have to buy a Landers jersey when I can. Says Amelia there. I'd say, unpopular opinion, definitely anyone who doesn't like the Highlanders. I would say, out of all the kits, I like the Highlanders the least for New Zealand teams. Seems a bit rough, doesn't it? But, like, I still like their kit. It's just, it seems a little bit like it's more of a, it's that colour because of the heritage of it rather than it's that colour because it's, like, bright and attractive to look at, like the bright colours and whatnot. When you and George going to do a stream with your calls from WWE 2K23, probably not going to happen at this stage anyway. We haven't really planned out what our plan is to do with those ones. We'll probably remake them as well because they don't look the greatest. Now got ourselves a scrum feed here for the Crusaders, 10 metres out from Moana Pacifica's line, but it will be Iritare Inari to feed the ball in. And because, well, thing is, I'm not mad about the bet because the Highlanders are sort of a team that I have a soft spot for. Okay. So you'll be caught in two minds then a little bit for their upcoming game tomorrow. Man has got an ice cream. I say man, he is about a 3-year-old child, but he's enjoying that ice cream very much. Which is what it's all about. Last 2 games in 2023, Crusaders won 38 points to 21, which is actually quite close to the amount of points that I said would be scored. I said 40 2 points to 18, didn't I? Also, we still need to see the fish murder video. Yeah, that's one that YouTube will not like. That would have to be on another thing that's not YouTube. I would think we can probably show the fishing on YouTube, just not the taking off the fish's life. Aaron Smith is someone look up to as a role model. There's Amelia K. Now about 30 meters out, nice glass. Is it plain white or some soft drink? It is, plain water. It is just water, although it is a Coca-Cola glass. But yeah, just plain water for the weekends. Nice run again from Macca Springer now. 16 minutes gone in this contest. Scotty Barrett hits it up, goes off to Hotham. Now a big run from Gallagher. Did see that injury last week. Sam Derry, unfortunately. So the locking spots are starting to become a little bit more available. There is 1 or 2 more injuries popping up. So all these guys need to make sure they're playing well when they wear 4 or 5 on their back. Christian Leo Willie pierces around the side of the breakdown. Now looks like Cullen Grace going to have a crack as well, but great low tackle made on him. The ball is available. They do have to release it. It's an advantage in the penalty for the Crusaders now, which they might even consider taking quickly. Looks like Hotham sprung back up to his feet. Decides against it, though. I believe more than likely the Crusaders may go for the scrum here, or do they take on the 3? Say this Moana Pacifica side might have been a bit more strong than they anticipated. Yep, they're taking on the 3, and I'd say that is quite a little miniature win for Moana Pacifica. Oh, I tell you what, I think he got unlucky there, Alamanda Matanga. He was over the ball. Referee saw it otherwise, though. Oh, we will go like this and like that. I'm going to get a switch in a few weeks for the sole purpose of playing the new Zelda game. There's Amelia K. I've actually never played any of the Zelda games or any of the Pokemon games. I know that they're both popular on Switch, aren't they? After Aaron Smith leaves the Highlanders, he's going to come back in a few years. I don't know whether he'll come back in a few years, mainly because I think when he leaves the Highlanders, it's probably going to be his last dance at Super Rugby level. Like, he might still have a couple more years in him, but I don't know whether or not he'd go to another team and then go back. I think he wouldn't even go to another team, but that kick is successful. That will now make the score 10 points to 0 in favour of the Crusaders. We'll update that as well. There we go. And all nice on our fake scoreboard. Just like that. Grew up with like Nintendo consoles when I was a kid. Hence why says Amelia. I had a Nintendo DSi XL back in the day. It was bright yellow. I took it to the Antarctic Centre, and one of the girls in our class stole it and then got it confiscated from me. It's a right shame it was. She was just trying to take a picture of a penguin. It's going to be rolled back. Hotham, geez, to Mighty Williams just got rid of someone who charged into the breakdown. It's partially charged, though. He's laughing about it as well. He's saying, come on, boys, I'm 150 kgs. You're going to have to eat a few more meat pies than that. Crusaders normally very good at scoring late in a contest. We know that. Now, bigger run from Christian Leo Willie. I'll be a bit disappointed to have only scored the 10 points at this stage of the contest. It's going to be kicked in behind. Looks like it's nicely taken by Che Fiaki. Nice offload. Goes up to Scott Barrett. Finds it over the top. And Zach Gallagher does take it to ground. Seems like the Crusaders hot on attack again. Going out their backline to Mighty Williams. Now one more. McLeod goes to Goodhue. Macca Springer on the outside gets the try. And the Crusaders, they have themselves another one. 20 minutes into this contest, it will now be 15-0. Go like this and like that. But that all came from the counter-attack of the Crusaders. It's actually both of their tries have been scored when they've been deep inside of their own territory. So maybe they just need Moana Pacifica to attack a bit more. And they'll be able to keep on charging up the field. Getting those turnovers. Crusaders is lucky. The ref is always in their side. Here's Johannes. Well, they got lucky in that last one where they got the 3 points, you'd have to say, because it was almost Solomoni Funaki got himself the turnover. It's up to Finn as well for the Tasman Marcos. Also, that fish video vlog, you will not upload on YouTube? Probably not, no. And they mathematically can't even if they all, or they win all their remaining games. with the bonus point wins. Yeah, so Moana Pacifica unfortunately cannot get into the quarterfinals, which is a shame because I'd like to see them get at least one win before the end. You can imagine if they manage to get into that top 8, which they can't, but imagine going almost the whole season without winning any games and then getting on a winning streak at the end and then going all the way. Something that some sides would absolutely love to do, but this is not the case for Moana Pacifica. We can only dream of that happening. Hello, Mr. or Mrs. Scoreboard. Please add an update on a minute, please, says Nate. Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Normally, like, it takes them 5 minutes or so, and then they'll be like, oh, yeah, there's a game on. But at the moment, we are currently 21 minutes through, and this scoreboard has still not realized the game is happening. Now the kick for the Crusaders was unsuccessful, so 15-0 remaining. And I was like, we have got how many minutes gone, boss? Please give me that. So yeah, 20, almost 22 now. Minutes gone, kick deep into Crusaders territory, nicely taken by Zach Gallagher. Taken outside, which does mean if Hotham kicks it, he cannot get it out on the full, but the Crusaders get themselves the penalty for no clear release. And morning says, Just Carl, welcome in, mate. Early morning start for yourself and Crusaders by 60 plus, says Tony there. Thanks, says Nate, no worries. Right, Fergus Burke. Booting this one into touch. Doesn't get the most meterage on it, but still is going to be a Crusaders line out in their favour. 3 penalties so far against Moana Pacifica, just the one against the Crusaders. Brady McAllister. Nicely taken there by Gallagher, and now they start this rolling more. Kiwi lad Buthi, says Savnet. Not too sure what that means. Hopefully nothing bad, but we accept criticism. Otham now going off to the left-hand side. Oh, in fact, he decides to kick it high there. Interesting choice. Naria Famai, though, knocks the ball on in the process. Not a single ticket available for the final next weekend, says Just Carl. Yeah, hopefully they managed to sell it out, because I know that last week people were saying that they couldn't get tickets, but then there were still about maybe 20 or so, or maybe not 20,000, but they didn't get a sellout for it, unfortunately. So hopefully this week they managed to do so. Do you reckon the Reds can follow up another win? I mean, there's a chance. They just beat the Chiefs, the Blues, I think. Are they resting any of their players? I don't think they're resting many of them if they are. So it's going to be a good contest. The good news for the Reds is the fact that they know that they can beat New Zealand teams, if that makes sense. Like, they've done it before. They've beaten the Blues before. Sorry. There's Shavnet. So I might just be a moment to go to the ice cream man. I'm going to have to go on Google Translate, aren't I? Google Translate. I'm going to go Fijian, because I believe it would be. In fact, we'll detect the language. It says it's not Croatian, I don't think. They do not have Fijian on here, unfortunately. It's a shame. Nice run, though, from Dallas McLeod. On forward now. So Mighty Williams plays halfback. That's something you don't see too often. Now it's going to be kicked in behind. Nicely taken by Noria Famai right next to the touchline. Kids forced out. Now they will have the Crusaders line out. Also, hello, buddy. His name. 25 minutes through. 15-0 for the Crusaders. Hopefully, by halftime, they'll be good to go, I would think. Time in opposition 22, 0 minutes. That's a lie. Moana Pacifica have been in there twice so far that we've been able to count. Cullen Grace takes it nicely now. Rolling maul for the Crusaders. This is going to be a hard one to stop. They're only about 10 metres out from the line, just marching and marching some more. But McAllister loses his footing. Could have been an easy walk. And now to Mighty Williams. Close to the line, 2 metres out again. Got Aaron Boller in the chat with a thumbs up. Hope you are doing very well, mate. Releasing some pretty decent songs at the moment, music videos and whatnot. Yep. All right, Corey Kello, that's close, and he's over for the Crusaders. That will be their 3rd try. That'll take them up to 20 points. And she slowly getting more and more one-sided. Contest, there we go. Still yet to have a Crusaders scoreboard tick over up there, but we got this bottom one and it is ticking over very quickly at the moment. Mighty Williams helping lead in the charge at the rolling ball, a massive unit of an individual. Instead, they go to Corey Callow and he drives his legs and gets over the line. Hi, will you be doing the Blues game tonight? We certainly will be. It's going to be a good one. The Reds actually only about $3 underdogs for that contest, so it could be pretty close. Oh, geez. They might have to go upstairs and have a look at this one. I don't think Corey Callow scored this one as easily as we may have anticipated. They might check for a knock-on. They might also check to see whether or not it was put down on Eritare Inari's leg. Let's go, says NPC Tony. Right. What do we got? They are waiting for it to load on the big screen. Wi-Fi must not be great at the ground, I assume, or Glenn's taking his time. Right, Corey Callow. They're checking for a potential knock-on here. Is that a knock-on on the ground from Mighty Williams? That's a pickup. That's all right. Christian Leo Willie. So it's this one here from Mighty Williams in the breakdown. Where's the ball? There it is. There it is. There it is. Got it in his hands. Player in the way at the moment. We're not going to see it from that angle. He has it. And then... oh, now. It might be called as a knock-on. It'd be unlucky because you can't really see the angle whether or not it goes straight out the side or whether it goes forward. Hopefully Crusaders retain Super Rugby Pacific. There's Shavnet there. No try. Lost for Corey Callow. Not going to get himself on the board as of yet. There's a knock-on. Says Connor. So now 5-metre scrum. Moana Pacifica just out from their own try line. 14 minutes to work here in the first half. Yeah, great leg strength from Corey Callow. It's called as a no try. Eritare Inari's leg was almost in the way. That one as well. NPC Tony's a little bit nervous. How much did you put on it, NPC Tony, to have 61 or more points in this contest? Out of curiosity. Did you put on a lot or was it only a little bit? If it was a little bit, I assume you wouldn't be angry. But because it might be a little bit, you might be nervous. Post-contact meters, 43 for the Crusaders. Gain line success, 82%. Only $40, bro, for my last 40. How much was it paying for there to be more than 61 points, NPC Tony? Ball's gone in. Eritare Inari now cleans it up. Looks like he will be kicking this one. Yes, he does. Set out into touch, about 15 metres out from the line. Now the Crusaders will have themselves another chance. I should change my scoreboard back. 15. We go. We are all sorted. Is it still 20-0? It is not. It's 15-0. At the moment, Shane van Gisbergen to make NASCAR Cup Series debut. July 2nd penalty goes to Moana Pacifica there. Obstruction against Mighty Williams there. Now Moana Pacifica will be able to get themselves just a little bit further up the field. Too easy, says NBC Tony. And also, when are the Waratah playing? I have the Waratah jersey on. The Waratahs are playing tomorrow night up against the Fijian Drua. So that will be 9:35 p.m. New Zealand time. We'll be covering that one on the channel as well. Big kick downfield, but still manages to find touch from Willie Harvili. Now Moana Pacifica, this might be their first real chance of unleashing that backline. I know that they've used Levi Moore a couple of times to get them a few of those extra meters, but who knows, maybe they get it out wide. Naria Famai waiting patiently out wide for the chance. Here we go. It's gone to Levi Moore. He's always going to hit it up, though, so that pass was not happening yet. Corey Callow makes a tackle there. Eritare Inari now goes off to Abraham Pole, dragged down by Cullen Grace. Actually up for South Canterbury Sportsman of the Year at the moment, I believe. Saw in the paper the other day. Even though it was for the season that he was injured for most of it. That's a forward pass from William. How have they not seen that? Did that not? Okay. That one's gone out anyway, so it's going to be a line out for the Crusaders. But I thought that pass went forward by quite a bit. What time will that be in Irish time? I'm not sure of Irish time, unfortunately. So whatever time it is at the moment, add 2 hours, and then add another 24 hours. So 26 hours time. Can I borrow $40? Depends if you got a good tip or not, or what to spend it on. That's the thing with Super Rugby. I wouldn't even risk. I don't think I'd put 60 cents on a Super Rugby game. Not even that high. Just because I feel like it's too risky. You never know what's going to happen. A little bit of a miscommunication there out wide. Goodhue and Leo Willie. So the ball did get put down. Now Moana Pacific another chance of attacking. And why do the Highlanders suck? I don't think they suck. They just aren't the best. You know, like they've got a good side, but they end up with injuries every season, like 15 of them. That always makes it tricky when you have a first side that you'd like to play, but you never get to play them because players are out with little injuries and whatnot. Perfect example, Jonah Nareki. He was a player that a lot of people were keen to see. He came back from his injury, got injured again, and then he's missing. I'll give him my fingers crossed. That remote play won't be a pest tomorrow. Now going off to the left-hand side. Levi Moore kicking him behind again, using the vision, and I think it's going to go dead. Yes, it does. Just a little bit too much on that one. We've got the option of either the 22 or the scrum. I think they'll go with the scrum here, as it was just outside of the 22. If you don't mind, can you tell me who's injured? It's the best. Normally the Highlanders Instagram, great place to be able to find, but I know that Nariki had an injury. Pari Parkinson, he was injured at one point. Backline wise, or even in the forward pack, they had a couple others as well. They always end up with that list because if you look through their squad, about 50% of them have been injured in the last season and a half, which is not ideal. I remember when they were missing absolutely everyone last year. I think they had no Selby Rickett in their forward pack. They were missing Josh Honick and Daniel Leonard Brown. Backline, they had a couple other ones. Conagard and Bishop, he broke his arm or his hand. Is McClutchy playing? Not in the starting lineup. And he's actually not off the bench. They've got Tamatine, Taifu, and Tavatava Nawai. So no Lincoln McClutchy today, unfortunately. Even though, they actually might have just shown that on the screen as well at that same time. Morning there, Kiwi lads. Maybe it's Freaky Friday again. I've got a break and off today. So just banging it. And early on here, traffic. And Jonah fine right now. So that is good news. But yeah, for how long is kind of that big question. Marty Banks, my mate, went to London yesterday and met Andrew Murdens. Was invited last minute, but missed his call. That'll be an unfortunate one. London Sevens, of course, just around the corner. It'll be taking place. That will be a very exciting one. The Samoans have once again a very tough group. It'll be interesting to see whereabouts they do finish. Hey, bro says not faded. Welcome in. Although you did have the name that you wanted me to call you, didn't you? It was an early push from Chris Apua. Hands on hips there. He's not happy, and the Crusaders now will have the option of scrum. Get downfield. They will go with the scrum. Also, a few Crusaders won't be around in 2024. Razor AB's duty. Whitelock and Moonga. Here's Nate. And also, hello there, all your rugby rockers and cowboys. Get on your horse and gallop all the way. It's just annoying. They should beat the Rebels and Reds, but you never know. Call me not faded. No stress process not faded. And there as well. 7 minutes remaining. Crusaders still 30 meters out from their line, and still the scoreboard has not updated. It's going to do it at some stage throughout this match. I'm sure of it. It's just we don't know when. Now ball being fed in for the Crusaders goes down in the front row. Penalty goes their way. Richie Morgan is still awesome. Says Roof, one in and down, so that will get against Abraham Pole there. It's scrum time. He's up against the big man, Mighty Williams, though, so that not really that easy. About 40 meters out now from Moana Pacifica's line. Do the Highlanders haka, says Levi? I do not know it. So I would not be able to. But I'm sure you know it, because you always talk about the hakas. I'm sure you know it off by heart. All going to be fed in by Brody McAllister at line out time. Nicely taken by Gallagher. Now Cullen Grace. Goes off to Che Fiaki, who's actually found himself in the midfield at the moment. Barrett thought about the pass to Grace. Decides to hit it up instead. Now Burke and behind to Will Jordan. Kicks in Looks like it's going to just curve towards the touchline. Nice work from Christian Lealiofano to keep it in the field of play. But now the Crusaders will be able to counter by going across to the far side of the field. Fergus Burke. In fact, it's McLeod. Taken down by Chris Apua. 35 metres out now from the line. Burke back across to Jordan. It was a little bit behind him now. The drawn pass. Goodhue sells the dummy ball back on the inside to Will Jordan. He'll go in for the try. The Crusaders now have got themselves the third. Geez, tell you what, it's a good day to be a Tasman Mako representative. We've seen Jordan, we've seen Macca Springer. Plenty of Finns about. And also, Kiwi lads, what minute or half are we in now? We are currently in the first half, up to 35 minutes. And will the Highlanders be the next take over the Crusaders' domination? They're going to have to avoid injuries first, I think. That'll be the main thing. Moana Pacifica can win this, but the Crusaders are looking too strong at this point of the game. Good evening, Hamish. From a reigning Durban, trust you all well. I am indeed. That yawn is not something to base off. I don't actually think I'm that tired at the moment overall. We've got a good weekend ahead of us. A few late nights. I think tomorrow we're going to be getting up relatively late. I've still got to decide what the plan is in terms of whether or not me and George are covering Rebels Highlanders or whether we are just starting at Chiefs versus Hurricanes. Work out that plan. He was actually going to be joining me for this live stream, but changed his mind at the last minute. He did have a dinner to go to. That's nicely curling for Burke. It actually almost curved too much, but it still goes over. 22 points to 0 now for the Crusaders after 36 minutes. So we might actually add a little one of these, and we'll say 36. There we go. Just so that everyone has a little bit of an idea where we're up to. I feel like that was too many of those hyphen things. I think we'll go like that instead. But the writing's still pretty big. That'll do. And Stam Highlanders. But it seems ever since Highlanders lost to the Blues in the final, they've just been bad. Well, I think it was just that season they did extremely well and finished a lot above a lot of people's expectations. But yeah, it's always a tricky one. Yeah, bro, there was a bit too many. This is not faded. And also, Sammy, Cody, Moody, Drummer, Moonga, Whainanoku, Goodhue, all leaving the Crusaders. Do the Kamati haka? See, I would, but I'm currently sitting on a chair. We're commentating rugby. So it's a bit tricky. That one's almost gone into touch. Nice work from Shea Fiaki. Keep the ball alive, but it's taken back by Moana Pacifica. Now, William Arvelli, a lot of pressure on him. Shea Fiaki trying to get the one-on-one strip. Hasn't ended up with it, though. Now, Lealiofano across to Solomoni Funaki. All Blacks forever. Nobody beats the haka. Remember those days giving me Alamu and Dougie Howlett. There's Roof. Oh, the ball's just popped out of the hands of Alamanda Matanga, taken by his opposite number, Corey Kello. Now, Hotham goes back across to Fergus Burke. McLeod goes to Will Jordan. Skip pass out to Macca Springer. Up to 25 metres out. That was a Cape Crusader much, says Gareth. Hello, Gareth. Hope you're doing well. Good run from Fergus Burke. Offloads across to Zach Gallagher. 20 metres out. Now Hotham going to Tamaiti Williams inside ball. Surprised that they haven't tried out that Brody McAllister rolling ball as of yet. Nice spin from Hotham. He's through. That's another try for the Crusaders now. 5th try of the season. They move up to 27 with a nice easy conversion to make it 29-0 for the Crusaders at the moment. He's not looking good for Moana Pasifika. And why is Moonga leaving the Crusaders? He's not faders. I believe he's going overseas to get more money, which is fair enough at the end of the day. He's had his fair amount of time at the Crusaders. Kind of hope the next game is a bit closer. Me too. Now let's go, says NPC Tony. Highlanders don't do the haka. They have the Highland fling with their kilts on, says Roof. And g'day, Hamish, says Christopher. Welcome in. Hamish, I'm having ready-made chicken Kiev for dinner and non-alcoholic beer as my drink. I don't think I've ever had a chicken Kiev. Kick's gone over. 29 points to 0. What do you reckon about this score now? Says NPC Tony. I feel like you're getting confident, Tony. I feel like a little bit ago you were nervous. They've got a couple tries and now you're getting excited. But that is good. At the end of the day, if they don't stop them soon, there is a chance that the Crusaders could get those 60 points all by themselves. We don't see too many of those Cape Crusaders anymore, says Grant. And contract to play overseas. Crusaders still got decent support up at Mount Smart Stadium. 39 minutes gone at the moment. Are the alarm bells ringing at New Zealand Rugby Union? Are you in the heads? Or are your heads or the heads in the sand? I don't think there's a lot that goes on inside of the heads of New Zealand Rugby Union, to be honest. Like, I don't know if I was going to say I don't know if they have the brain capacity to have alarms. I've made some interesting choices, that's for sure. There's more new blood and talent to step up for the Crusaders. And when the oldies leave, no Hamish, you've got to have a chicken Kiev on cold winter's night with a vodka. Well, it is quite cold here in New Zealand at the moment. Right in the nice winter weather, although we haven't reached the -2s. Are we? What month are we in? When does winter finish? I'm going to have to do a quick Google. Winter season starts in June. Okay, so we're not quite to winter yet. I got there around the wrong way, didn't I? I was a month early. But, like, it's going to be cold, but then it's not going to be too bad. I don't think. Like, we might reach a couple -2s, get the toes a bit nippy, but half-time, 29 points to 0 this contest. For the Crusaders, show us your search history. I feel like you get really bored. Like, it wouldn't actually be anything that you'd be like, oh, look what he's searching. What a dodgy bloke. It's literally just like rugby stuff. Like, history-wise, I got the TAB because I checked the odds, Sky Sport, YouTube live streaming because I was setting up the StreamYard, lineups for the teams, more information about players. And I also, here's a cheeky one for you. I looked on Harvey Norman earlier on. It's about as dirty as my history gets. I remember the 10-degree frost in Ashburton. At the moment, it will be all Aussie versus Kiwi quarterfinals with Super Rugby. And also, we've got the roof, like I said, bro. Cricket score coming up here. It's not faded and not nice tries. What did I say about crushing Pacifica? Got young Sheldon on my TV and you on my laptop equals multitasking. It sounds great. Mouth-watering, Christopher. Vodka with anything is tasty. Chicken kebabs too. That's kind of weird. There's a halftime Harvey Norman ad at the moment. They're giving me bonuses on kitchen appliances. It's a shame, though, because they've moved the gift vouchers. It was you could get a gift voucher for buying certain camera equipment and whatnot, technological stuff. So I was going to get something, but then they changed their deals. So now you can get it on like ovens and whatnot, but I don't need an oven at the moment. I'm pretty happy with the oven we've got. I'm actually streaming the Rebels game tomorrow. We're not sure yet. It will depend on what George is up to. If it's supposed to rain here, he might want to do something during the day, such as filming or going out and about somewhere first. And then we'd come back and do the Chiefs Hurricanes game. But tomorrow, she's a 60% chance of rain. So depending on what time of the day, it's supposed to rain all afternoon by the looks of it, or it might rain. So it will depend a little bit. And also, I'm disappointed that there's no search history for the Gatsby Irish. That was a little while ago. That's in there somewhere. Picture of a burger. I think the only weird picture I have of food is when we were talking about, what was it? The cabbage or whatever it was last week. And I had a picture of that with Oli wieners in it. What did you say? At Highlanders could beat Chiefs? Or what? What did you say? It's Highlanders, or if Highlanders could beat Chiefs in the face, if they face in the quarterfinals. That took me a bit to get through there. There are quite a few eras there, Cats are the best, but we got there in the end. What did you say if Highlanders beat the Chiefs, face them in the quarterfinals? It would be impressive. At the end of the day, the Chiefs are definitely one of the favourites going through. If you stream, I might not watch that though, but I'll do it if the stream next week. Something says not faded, and also going shopping. Soon we'll be back for the second half in the kicking. And you, 61.5 says odds covers. Oh, sorry, under 61.5. Sorry, my brain went weird. That's interesting because we've got someone else in the chat already who did the over 61 odds. So it's going to be one of you are going to be winning, one of you are going to be losing, unfortunately. Which I guess is the perfect example of how betting companies make their money. Also, what are your thoughts on Fergus Burke? Do you think he deserves a black jersey, Hamish? I mean, he might not get a chance that soon, mainly because of what we've seen from, like, at the end of the day, there's been Richie Mo'unga, Bowden Barrett. You've got then after that as well, Damien McKenzie, and then you've got Stephen Petafeta, who I think they would go with before Burke. Like, Burke hasn't been bad. It's just they haven't really given him enough of a chance, really, to get the chance, I would say. And we're still in seventh heaven about the Storm, seventh heaven. That Stormers win. Lebock, not my player of the year. Says Roof. He actually played very well, though, in their last matchup. It was one of those games that he had to step up, and luckily he did, or else they might have been in some real trouble. Anyone with a name like Fergus has to be an All Black, although it sounds more Irish, doesn't it? 29-0 moment for the Crusaders at halftime. She's a one-sided affair, ladies and gents, but I think if we've learned anything from this first half, that the Crusaders' counter-attacking has been very strong. So this game, if Jonah Nareki played the whole season, could he make the All Blacks? Would it depend a little bit on terms of whether he wants to play for the All Blacks or whether he wants to play for Fiji. But, I mean, it's a tricky one at the moment because the All Blacks, they seem to like a little bit more size out on their wings, which is why someone like Afaina Nuku seems to be popular at the moment. Caleb Clark as well. Fergus is Scottish, says Mysterian. And also we have got there, I think, our South African teams need Togo back, or to go back to Super Rugby. I was going to say Togo. I've never heard of a rugby player from Togo. I'm sure they're decent, though. Like, probably ranked about 80th in the world. In fact, we're going to look up rugby rankings. Where do Togo find themselves? They're going to be lower than 80, I think. Rugby rankings. Go. Pick up bigger fights against the Australian and New Zealand teams. I think they're enjoying the Northern Hemisphere, though, a little bit, deep down. Like, I know some South Africans aren't too happy about being up in the north. Togo. Where are Togo? If they are 80th, I would laugh. They're not, though, because that's Slovenia. Didn't quite get it right. I think I overestimated the Togoans. Togoans? I don't think they play rugby. Looking through other rankings, I'm not seeing a Togo nowhere. Yeah, no, I don't think Togo plays. Zambia play. They're 68th ranked. I don't see Togo being any higher than them. Togo don't have a team. Under 3-5, try Moana on stage, says Odds Covers. I mean, so you're saying under 5 tries for Moana Pacifica? That's probably a given at this point, I would say. And also score will be 36-12 to the Crusaders at halftime. Also, hello all. It's halftime at the moment, Patty, but welcome in. You are doing very well. I'm with you, Christopher Dale. As Aussie, I can't wait for the All Blacks and hopefully the Wallabies to keep the Northern Hemisphere quiet. It's going to be an intriguing World Cup because some people have said for the sake of rugby as a whole, a Northern Hemisphere side needs to win this one. But then if they don't, and then it's a New Zealand or a South Africa, Australia, someone who I'd love to see win a World Cup though at some stage is Argentina. I feel like that would do massively for rugby in Argentina, like having a football World Cup and a rugby World Cup, one in the same year. That is something that I believe no other side has been able to do, unless England were able to do it in about 2003. Football World Cup winners is what we're after. They're the only other ones who have half a chance of being able to say that they were able to do it back to back. So 2003 is what we're looking for. 2002 was won by Brazil, and then Germany won in 2006. So yeah, Argentina, if they won the World Cup for football and they won it for rugby, it would be the first time that has actually happened. So that would be kind of cool. I thought that was like score prediction at the bottom. No, that's the halftime score. The scoreboard's not working today, unfortunately. France can close. or came close in 1998 and 1999. Yeah, so it's been close, but it hasn't quite happened. I love those names: Whitelock, Blackadder. What about Winterbottom and Green Brown? Says Roof. I think the best upset there would be Japan wins this year's World Cup. I mean, it would be massive for them, wouldn't it? And I feel like any lower side that aren't in that top 4 or so expected to win would be pretty cool. I'm going to look up the odds while we are at it at halftime, ladies and gents. Currently, the score is this. I think it should be Toganese. Toganese sounds good. It rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? And Togo to go footballers. I think. Oh no, I read that one. France should have won 2011. Yeah, it's their turn. If anyone, how long till the game time? Probably another like 3 minutes or so. I would say before we get to halftime. Whoopsies, that's the wrong button. We need rugby union. We need outrights. Here we go. Oh, the London Sevens, you can pick the outright winner. Here we go. Rugby World Cup. At the moment, France are favourites, followed by New Zealand, followed by Ireland, then South Africa, England, Australia, Argentina. They're on $31. Then Wales. See, that's the thing. Argentina or Wales, right? They are really heavy underdogs, but they have a good chance of getting out of their groups. So that's an intriguing one. Scotland, they're $61 underdogs. They would have to beat South Africa and or Ireland to get through. Fiji, 151. Japan, 201. For Portugal, Romania, Namibia, or Chile to win is $5,001 to your dollar. I didn't even realize they did odds that high. Samoa to win at 501. Italy to win at 251. Georgia, 501. Japan, 201. Also, Ferguson, very Scottish. Argentina, pretty good. New Zealand, though, fabulous. Czech Island Rugby World Cup fixtures, says Nate. So I know that they are going to be playing up against the South Africans first. Then I believe they've got Scotland straight after, don't they? Rugby World Cup. Spelt 3 of those wrong. Match schedule. Here we go. To be fair, in this order, All Blacks, Wallabies, France, Springboks, Ireland, England, Scotland, Argentina. Everyone else, good luck. Is that a new rule about halftime, more than 5-minute break? They end up either having about a 10-minute break, or sometimes it gets up to like 15 to 20 minutes. Which seems a bit rough. Ireland going to get knocked out in the pool stages because something I can't say here, says Gareth. Although you'll be open, Italy beat France, won't you, Gareth, for rule number, what is it, rule number 7, or is that the one about Fleshen's auntie? One of them's the right one. Kiwi, like I said, be a big upset if Japan wins this World Cup, but it looks unlikely with England and Argentina in their group. So, yeah. Ireland, first game is actually up against Romania. I thought they played South Africa off the get-go, but that is not the case. It's at 1:30 a.m. New Zealand time. That's going to be a fun early morning rising one. For us, South Africa plays Scotland first. That'll be on the Sunday. So we're going to end up in the scenario of about 8 or 9 games per weekend by the looks of it. I think 8 games. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so 8 games a weekend, which is doable because I guess we've been training for this for the past like 3 years. I think Razor is a World Cup winning coach for the ABs. We will have to wait till 2027 to find out. That's a long time, though. So a lot can change from there. His player pool will be completely different. By 2027, he won't have Whitelock. He probably won't have Bowden Barrett. He's going to be losing quite a few of those other players in the 4-pack. He won't have Joe Moody. He won't have Dane Coles, which he probably won't even have for this one. So do we want Will Joyner to score some tries? I wonder how many Super Rugby tries he scored. He's going to be getting up there. So he scored one in this game, which is good news for him. This chat will be very Romanian that day, says Gareth. It should be exciting, shouldn't it? Seeing Romania in action. I feel like I can name one specific Romanian who will be watching very closely, although he'd probably actually be watching the game rather than watching us. World Cup New Zealand Bok, says Roof. And if Ireland chokes the World Cup, it's something to laugh about. And then we can say Ireland is the Arsenal of rugby. Like Ireland got it hard, bro. Says Nate. Yeah, September's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have a huge amount on coming up soon for us, actually. I'm going to add that to my calendar as the option. Might as well do it. I think I've already got it added to my calendar. All matches of the World Cup. Sync the schedule to my Google, I guess. There we go. Sync it to the PC, ladies and gentlemen, so you know exactly when the games are going to be taking place. I should mention we've got an under 20 World Cup that is actually coming up very soon as well. That's going to be taking place beforehand. We are almost at the second half. It's been a long half time. They seem to be taking every chance that they can get to have a bit of a rest. Why does it want to know my date of birth? It was 3 days ago. Go, yeah, go on, send me all the news. Right, that was a long process just to try and put it on my calendar. Are you covering the Rugby Sevens? We are indeed. I believe there's only a couple games that overlap, but other than that, we are flat out with the Sevens tomorrow and the next day. And where is that dodgy Romanian pretending to work or something? Says Gareth, the second half is about to start. Yes, it certainly is. The only Romanian I kept my eyes on was Marius Tinku. I thought All Blacks were playing the Springboks until their first game is against the Wallabies. I think, says Mr. Not quite. So they have got a warm-up game up against the Springboks, which is 1 week before the World Cup. That is when that's going to be taking place. But it is now 3 months, 20 days, and 11 hours till the World Cup kicks off. By then, it will be a lot of fun. There's this chat into Romanian chats. I'm playing Oil Land in Rugby World Cup 2023. Right. Actually, 5 changes made here for Moana Pacifica. So they've realised that first half didn't quite work out in terms of the chemistry. Now it's going to be second half underway. So we will have to update our scoreboard again. And already, Finney and Nisi having a little bit of an impact, having a good carry there. We will go like this. Which was the longest run by a player to score the best try, Hamish. I mean, one that always comes to mind is Sam Whitelock's massive run when he was way back and he shouldn't have been able to run as far as he did, but he did. It's an old school try, though, but I believe any Crusaders supporter / any Super Rugby watcher from back in the day will know the one. Let's not forget about the Bledisloe Cup beforehand, Hamish. That is true. Rugby Championship as well. Do they normally score more in the second half? They normally have a decent chance. But it's dependent on how well Moana Pacifica fire back. Like, I think Moana Pacifica might find themselves some points in the second half, which will be beneficial for you. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe and smash that like button. You heard the man. If anyone is new, that subscribe button. We've got plenty more coming. Tonight, we've still got the Reds versus Blues just around the corner. 15 metres out, they have still got the advantage. Big knock on there. A shame. Didn't quite get that one right. I know that try was a thing of beauty and shame. We were leaving it as well. Sam showed a bit of speed and toughness to score that try, says Mysterion. Quick tap taken, was it? No. Jonathan Tamatine not quite on the mark. And also we have got their under-20 World Cup with Smart Balls in South Africa. Yeah, I saw that. They're going to be checking to see whether or not passes are forward by using the ball technology. Which is, I mean, it's interesting. Can you read my message, says Brandon? No, I can't, Brandon, because your original one hasn't come through. I can see your can you read my message one, but I can't see your other one. If there was another one. Unless that is the message you wanted me to read, then there you go. Okay, 5 meters out from the line now. Moana Pacifica will be in the hands of Jonathan Tamatine. Going across again to Solomone Funaki. This is close for Moana Pacifica around the side. Latero Tulai taken down 5 meters. Levi Amor. Ball on the outside of Christian Leliafano. The ball is loose. Dallas McLeod tried to chip it forward, but he chipped it straight into the breadbasket of William Havili. Good counter ruck there. Timothy Tava Nawai ends up with the ball, though. Cullen Grace looks like he might be getting into a bit of oh no, he's up there. It was another fella. I think it might have been one of the locks. Instead, now the ball was out for Christian Leo Willie to steal. Ball is stripped, but it goes back to the side of the Crusaders, who still have possession. Both of them kicking it downfield, finding some space. And that one is going to roll into touch. That's a very good kick. Also, I don't know Stone Cold. I believe share the same name with lots of Roof Carters. Also, I want to remind everybody the World Cup is a different level. It's going to be some upset. Says Spider Mick. Come on, Moana Pacifica, get a try. Do you think the Reds will win against the Blues? They've got a good chance. I think if there was ever a week that they were going to be able to win it, it would be this week. But it's going to be tough. Throw not straight from Moana Pacifica. Now means that the Crusaders will have themselves the scrum. Doesn't seem like, oh, no, there it is. Under 20 matches in 2023. So Argentina, Italy open up the under 20 rugby championship. That's actually on the 24th of June. That is only a month and a bit away. New Zealand's first game in the under 20s will be up against the Welsh. Australia going to be taking on the Fijians. South Africa taking on Georgia. There you go. 44 minutes through this game, though. Togo has to go. Says Stephen, well, they do, yeah. Two people sitting on a Powerade chili bin there. Good sponsorship placement. Liking it. Hotham now puts the ball in. Now going short side. My name is Joshua. Says don't gold. And who are the players you're looking forward to seeing in the ABs this year? Hopefully Sean Stevenson. If he's not there, it's not going to be great, unfortunately, because, like, what else does a man have to do? That's a yellow card. Possibly. What? Why is... Yeah, go on, ref. It's got to go back for it. It's a deliberate knock on. And he just watched and went, she's all right. Georgia under-20 team are a team to watch. They are. Very handy. My goal of 40 subscribers there, says Brandon. So congratulations. Done very well. You're consistent. That's the main thing. You want to be consistently uploading. Much more consistent than myself. All the players. Oh, no, I read that one. All right, Kiwi. I'm going to go. Need to get ready, going away for the weekend. Or maybe watch the stream later tonight, says Not Fader. So hopefully you do enjoy your trip, wherever you are heading off to. I only knew a Joshua in school a long time ago, Stone Cold. And Reds have a chance to beat the Blues. Played in Brisbane. A Chinks mate, says Nate. Yeah. Yeah, that is an outreached hand from William Arvelli. So probably very lucky to get away with just the penalty and not a yellow card for it. Now the Crusaders about to start rolling towards the line. McAllister waiting for his opportunity. It's being well defended, but it's only a matter of time. He falls over the line, scores the try there, Brody McAllister. Argentina won the Football World Cup. They won't give a toss about the Rugby World Cup, says Stephen. Or they may not, but they won it. They'll probably care a little bit. Scored the first try. Try number 1 was scored by Christian Leo Willie. So in terms of first try scorers, probably not one of the more popular options people would have picked. Thanks, bro. I'll see you probably later in the Reds and Blues stream. It's not photo, so we will see you later. But nice work from Brody McAllister. I'm just manipulated for. Are you sure about that, Hamish? Do miss your lineup video and preview for Super Rugby. You missed them because I didn't do them. Best way I put on that one. Well, you did a Samoa preview video for this week. We need to do a few more videos on the channel, I think, in the future. I'm off to the Reds and Blues game at Suncorp Stadium. Will be a good one. But I think the Reds will get beaten by the Blues. I've got a Ichiri tournament card game down here against Waimea Nelson tomorrow. Ichi. How would you say that word? Ichu Ikukure? Maybe? It sounds like when someone maybe from France is trying to describe what they want to do in terms of the class. Cooking? Yes. Rugby is very popular in Argentina amongst the followers. They are passionate fans. They are. And Mysterion has put it in the chat, but once again, reading it. Itchri. Go with that. A bit of itchri. Archery. I've done archery. It bloody hurts in that part if you get it wrong because you fling the string right onto there. Leaves a nice mighty bruise. A nicely kick downfield from the Crusaders. William Harvili now running at the line again. Good tackle made on him by Corey Callow. Crusaders going to bang Moana Pacifica. I don't think that's legal in a game of rugby, but They're certainly trying at the moment. 34-0 at the moment for the Crusaders. We'll put that one back up. Now back across Christian Leilefano, almost getting through that gap. Tamatine goes off to Havili. Fendon Goodhue takes him down again. What's the score now? It's 34-0 at the moment. So still not quite to the amount that you needed, but not a mile off either. So do we want Julius Savia to break the Super Rugby try scoring record tomorrow? I mean, it would be good to see, seeing as he had gone overseas. He's come back. He's done all right for the Hurricanes. He actually only scored, Jordan lands awkwardly. Hopefully he's all right. Yeah, he's got a smile on his face. He's resilient. He's had his break. Now he seems like he's throwing the body around. The Georgian under-20 team. It's like they've been 20 for 15 years in a row. Wonderful bearded men, though, says Grant. Yeah, well, I can't grow a beard to save myself. Unfortunately, I have to get some tips from them. I'm running low on water. The key for this weekend will be keep the voice. It's already disappearing. They are just showing there 15th of July. All Blacks versus Springboks. That will be taking place at Mount Smart Stadium. That's going to be sold out for sure. Hurricanes going to lose because the Hurricanes team is not that strong tomorrow, says Boy Customer. They have rested a few of their All Blacks, haven't they? So that is where the Chiefs may find themselves in a very good position. Highlanders versus Rebels, though, that will be the first game taking place tomorrow. Yes, Stone Colds, we do. Why not? Says Stephen. And Chiefs come back after a loss. Brandon. Fijian draw versus Waratahs. That is taking place at 9:35. That'll be penalty to Moana Pacifica. And then the Force versus Brumbies is a late night game. But during that one, we will actually be doing some sevens that are taking place in London. I believe we've actually got a sevens game squeezing in between. Spelling mistake before, says Kevin there. Well, hopefully you go all right in it. We're Marvelli now. 30 minutes left to try and get themselves some points on the board. It's been a tough one to get through this defensive line, though. Goes into touch. 10 metres out from the line. Crusaders all the way. Poor Pacifica haven't scored yet. Eek, says Ruth. It did go down pretty quickly there at scrum time. Crusaders won't be happy with that one. They normally pride themselves on their scrum. Tolai, short ball to Levi and Moore, run straight at Callow. Gets slightly driven backwards. Well, the Chiefs have 7 ABs in their 4-pack, 3 on the bench, on the backs, then Josh Ioane on the bench. Irish International 2. Passed across here. Believe that is going to be Joe Apakatoa. Turnover's good, but they're going back for another penalty. Also, I think Sean Stevenson must play New Zealand in the World Cup. He should be in there. Like, at the end of the day, he can't do much more. You know, he's leading try scorer, tied for leading try scorer in the competition. His defense has been good. He's versatile. He can play multiple positions. So it's just more of the case of whether or not the All Blacks are willing to accept that. Oh, that's going to be a drop ball, and Shea Fiaki gets away with it now, but they go back for another penalty in favour of Moana Pacifica. Time, please. At the moment, we are sitting 52 minutes through. Normally, the scoreboard does update, but today it's on strike. For some reason, Stone Cold is 007, your James Bond movie name. Says Ruth. That's my gamer tag. Jonathan Tamatine takes the quick tap. Goes off now to Ezekiel Lindenmuth. Talai gets close. 2 metres out from the line. Tamatine going now across again. This is going to be Miracle Failangi. We've hardly seen him today. Levi Amoa now. Close to the line. Tries to drive over. Just 1 metre short. They do have to release him, though, or else they'll end up giving away that advantage around the side. That was over the line. And it is the try now. Who's that? Tima Whainānuku went searching for it. We haven't actually seen him today. But that is going to be the first try for Moana Pacifica. Had to work extremely hard to try and get through, but that'll make the score now 5 points to 34. And when is your pick? There's Brandon. When is my pick? for this game. I believe my prediction for this game was 42 points to 18 in the end. So it's not quite doable unless the Crusaders randomly took a 3-pointer somewhere along the lines. Is Cheslin Colby going to play the World Cup? I think so. I don't think he's ruled himself out anyway. Now, the Crusaders, they are still ahead with the bonus point. Moana Pacifica would need, I believe, 2 more tries before they can cancel out Crusaders' bonus point here. Fano, 68% accuracy. Cheslin will definitely be in the World Cup squad, says Timmy. Yeah, the only thing that would stop him now is injury. I know that he's playing in the game tomorrow up against Glasgow. Fortalon, the Crusaders on top, says Shekina there. I thought Moana could have created an upset, because of the Crusaders resting player, says Stone Cold. Although the Crusaders still, these young guys, they're very talented. That one's hit the post, Malele Afano, but it has still gone over. I'll make the score 7 points to 34. Go. On the side of the breakdown. See the celebrations on the faces of Moana Pacifica fans. Seeing that one, the Moana Pacifica comeback start, says Grant. 26 minutes, 26 points would put them, I think they would actually still put them 1 point behind. But after that, they would be all right. Christian Leleafano going across to Ezekiel Lindenmouth. Round the side again. 54. See, that's the thing. They've still got time to get at least one more try. Maybe even a couple. Bob Marley and Akadaka, ACDC. And keen on the game tomorrow. Chiefs versus Hurricanes is going to be a good game. Kiwis go head-to-head. Nicely taken there by the replacement. Number 22 for the Crusaders. I'm trying to work out who he's actually on the field for. It might be for Fergus Burke. Livestream you got this weekend, I got 8 or 9. And 9 is URC1 maybe. We're probably somewhere around the same. We've got 2 Super Rugby games tomorrow. We're going to be doing the Champions Cup final. That's going to be the penalty to the Crusaders. Hotham takes it quickly. Decides to have a bit of a crack, but he is going to be tackled well. Tries to find the offload. Doesn't work out. And now Moana Pacifica are going to have themselves a scrum feed. So, yeah, we've got those 2 games. Oh. Okay, someone threw the ball. Zach Gallagher's getting right in the face of Ezekiel Lindenmuth, which isn't going to end too well, I wouldn't think. And then we got the 7. So probably, I would say over the weekend, we got around 15, 16 streams maybe, if you include the 7s, but they are a lot quicker, of course, than the full-length matches. I believe from here, we've only got 3 or 4 more full-length matches after today. So we've still got Reds and Blues not included in that one. What on Moana, another try. And also, Timmy, I asked the same question and got no response. Oh, sorry, Moana Pacifica playing at home? Yes, they are. Mount Smart Stadium. But it's kind of their home away from home, I guess you could say. Yeah, if I'm not replying, Google's always a good option. Just because that normally shows it pretty quickly. Currently 56 minutes through. 6 matches so far for Noah Hotham. He's got the 1 try, they've said. It's the even reason I asked him is because Crusaders lost the Fijian draw away from home. So he's tough on the islands. Says Timmy. We can see actually a whole rugby team there by the looks of it. Very happy to be there. Scrum feed now for Moana Pacifica. Right, the ball has gone in. Big push from the Crusaders. It's actually going to be an early push, though. We've ended up with a pile up. So you got Lindenmuth looking around trying to find his locking teammate or his locking buddy he just made enemies with. Moana Pacifica, I think they will take on the scrum here again. Early push from number 17. That is one position that the Crusaders are possibly lacking a little bit of depth in at the moment. They've got Andrew Turner, the ex-Bristol Bears player. And then also they've got Seb Calder, the other replacement. And Timmy was thinking at 2. So Yesh now is 8. Says Brandon. 30 meters out from their line. Ready to go down with Moana Pacifica. So I think the Crusaders are under actually a lot more pressure at the scrum than they would like, which means that they might go a little bit early. Game should be played in Samoa. They played one of their games in Samoa earlier on in the season. They didn't sell it out though, so I think that's why it's going to be trickier for them to have so many games happening in Samoa. Like, they've got not a sold out crowd here in Mount Smart either. So until the Moana Pacifica side start building up more of that fan base, like they may take like 3 or 4 of their games to the Pacific Islands next year to improve a little bit. But yeah, I don't think it will be all of their games as of yet. It's a nice run though from Tima Whainānuku. Also, do you found time to do an interview next weekend, Hamish? I have not done the schedule next weekend, so I have no idea at this stage. Moana never won a game before. Not this season anyway. They actually beat the Hurricanes last year, which was a massive performance from them. They almost beat the Blues this year, missing out that penalty try that a lot of people felt was a bit rubbish from the referee. Is that some steps? Looks like steps that Tima Whainānuku has got on his arm for a tattoo. And having a big break before the URC finals. Too nice. New Zealand missing out. There's Nate. Mitch Drummond now on the field. That is for Hotham. Another scrum. This game has gone quite slow in the second half while we have had so many times that the ball has just been put into these scrums. Now Fergus Berry. Nice inside ball. Goes off to Kimura. Now Drummond. Across to Cullen Gray's big shot coming on him by Levi Amua. And New Zealand missing out on what? Says Timmy. I assume that because New Zealand aren't in the URC, he's saying that they are missing out on playing in the URC. If that makes sense. Yeah, New Zealand not playing in the URC. That's what he's saying. Juicy Burger. Says Nate. So down again there, the Crusaders. They haven't found as much momentum in the second half with only 21 minutes remaining. Now Jack Goodhue, ball out wide to Che Fiaki. Now Drummond. Going to the left. Will Jordan thought about shifting it wide, but it seems like the Crusaders at the moment just trying to go with those short passes to the big forwards, make those few extra meters. Now that's close to being stolen by Moana Pacifica. I think the Crusaders have to let this one go. Yes, they do. And Moana Pacifica now back in possession, doing the Chiefs versus Brumbies on Saturday. I don't think you will do game on Saturday. So I was thinking 9:45. If it's Chiefs versus Brumbies, we more than likely will be doing that game. And comment has said, hello guys, is it raining or not? Thanks. I believe it's not raining, but it's a little bit slippery at Mount Smart at the moment. We haven't heard anything about the rainfall if there is rain. But yeah, I think it's just quite slippery due to the dew. Due to the dew. There we go. Yeah. It's a lot of D's in that sentence. URC player of the season, Marnie Libok, says boy customer. It's an interesting one, isn't it? Because a couple of days ago, or a couple of weeks ago, he had an absolute shocker and everyone was saying get rid of him. But then he played very well in that semi-final and everyone's like, now he's got to be the Springbok 10. So it's a week-by-week thing for Marty Libok. I'll probably give it, if I was going to give it to a Stormers player, I'll give it to Dion Foree for the work that he's been able to do in the breakdown. Like, he has got so many turnovers throughout the season. Although if you're going URC turnovers, you go Heinrich Lowe, who I believe has got 2 more than Dion Foree at this stage. But Foree has played less games due to his injuries. The South African teams are missing out on Super Rugby 2. It's 22. It's Marty Libok, says Timmy. And also, what is the URC? United Rugby Championship. So that is the teams from Ireland, Scotland, Wales, Italy, and South Africa all playing. So pretty much it's the Pro 14 plus a couple teams is the easiest way of describing it if you know what the Pro 14 is. "60 minutes through. Front row. It's a very big front row for Moana Pacifica. Just looking at the size of them, they've got that youngster Andrew Turner for the Crusaders, and he just doesn't quite muscle up in terms of the size department. 20 minutes left. Tomatino, are you getting nervous yet, MPC? Or Tony MPC, I should say. Are you feeling a little bit more of the pressure. Nice pass on the outside for Whiria Nisi. Now, Tima Whaina Nuku doing very nicely. Give it to Angelo Davids. Good player. Must be in the Springbok team. Says boy customer. Don't know. Angelo Davids is one of those players who I feel in the sevens department, he's shone because Selvin Davids set him up for 90% of his tries and made it easy for him. Like, he's a great player, but I feel like he was at his best when he had someone else doing a majority of the work for him, and he was just running in the tries, collecting the numbers pretty much, I guess you could say. Crusaders are good, says George. They're doing all right. Now, Latero Talai thought about the pass on the outside. What do you think your chances are percentage-wise of working tomorrow, George, at this point? I know if it's raining, she's going to be damp. Like, if you had a percentage out of 100, what would you go with? Brad Weber, signing my club, Stade Francais. Do you think he has 100% chances to go to the World Cup with New Zealand or not? It's a tricky one. For me, he would be in my side. But I don't know if the All Blacks think the same way because they did take him out, didn't they? Also, Brad Weber is leaving New Zealand because Christie is getting above him in the pecking order behind Smith. See, that's the thing. I would have Weber above Christie 9 times out of 10. I think some people disagree with that, but that's the way I see it. Brad Weber, I think, with McKenzie's a massive combo that the All Blacks could use to their advantage. As a Cantab, I'm not seeing a hell of a lot of quality Super Rugby teams anymore, especially since the South Africans have left this tournament. I believe they will win the World Cup this year, says Michael Gray. It's weird, isn't it? Because it's that saying, you don't know what you got till it's gone. I think a lot of people in Super Rugby, when the South Africans were at that stage of maybe leaving, everyone's like, we don't want them. Let them go off and do what they want. And now everyone's like, where'd they go? Why'd they leave? We didn't actually want them to. So it's a tricky scenario. I know the Stormers and the Sharks return to Super Rugby. Too good for the URC League. Also, we've got there, Brad Weber is leaving New Zealand. Oh, no, I read that one. Dion Ferrer should have been player of the season because of the influence he has. Stormers, when he plays, yeah, he's a fantastic player, and he's always going to put his body on the line. Like I mentioned on one of those streams, Dion Ferrer is one of the only rugby players of current time that I can name that when he ends up with 2 black eyes, a bleeding nose, a busted lip, a cut on his forehead, he walks off the field with a smile on his face and goes, could have done more. Replace the Stormers and the Sharks with the Cheetahs and the Pumas. And also 5 years watching Super Rugby. Thank you. There's a Michael there. Now going back across. Yeah, who remembers the good old Super 14 days before Super Rugby existed? Super 12 even. It's old school. Herschel Yankees hasn't made something. Says boy. I'm having toasted cheese tomato sandwich with hot chips and chili salt. Sounds all right. Now, Che Fiaki on the halfway line. I saw I'm going to lose it, bro. Earlier on from Tony MPC. Now taken down again. Advantage in favour of the Crusaders, and they will get the penalty. Now, Mitch Drummond trying to do some thinking here. New Zealand too good for South Africa in Super 15. They went north to try their luck. Now, I mean, to be fair, they found success up north. Stormers through to the final 2 years in a row, winning it last year. South Africa sides both in the final for the last time. 18 says Straight Sports. Welcome in, Tony. You've been keeping well. Ball goes into touch for Burke. Blues playing just around the corner. What I was trying to say before my tongue got involved. How do you think they'll go, Tony? You feeling like big win coming up against the Reds, or do you think it could be a close one, or maybe the Reds sneak it? Super 12 was the best. Says Michael Gray. All about to be thrown in now from the Crusaders. Taken at the back nicely. Awkward landing for Scott Barrett. But Che Fiaki now hits the ball on the line. We left our Super Rugby marriage of many years for a younger, more attractive girlfriend. Says Grant there. Oh, bit of push and shove there between Cullen Grace and Ezekiel Lindenmouth. Lindenmouth smiling. Cullen Grace probably smiling on the inside when he looks at the scoreboard. Says that they're winning by almost 30 points. Now, nice step from Will Jordan. Could end up being 40. No, Will Jordan's dropped the ball again. Whatever, says Spider-Mick. Not sure what that's to, whether or not that's to the South African side's leaving or what that is, but yeah, whatever. The comment from Spider-Mick. Nothing to do with New Zealand being better. Overkill Super Rugby and travel to New Zealand is a nightmare. Oh, it might have been to that. Hamish check over week. I better go. Oh, I better go. Get ready for the live stream. I'm feeling there's going to be a massive comeback from Moana here. Historical stuff incoming. Tell you what, it would be incredible, wouldn't it? I'm trying to think of the last time we've seen a side that was down. Probably the Harlequins. They do it every week. How they would have been down by like 25 points and then came back and won the thing in the Gallagher Premiership. What's the last Super Rugby game we had where a team was down massively? I know that the Crusaders did it way back up against the Waratahs, didn't they? They were down by heaps and then they managed to come back and get themselves the victory. Will Jordan fire from a Shakina. He's struggled this game, to be honest, Will Jordan. Like, I hope that's not the case heading forward. I think he's just finding his bearings again. He was out for quite a long time. Mitch Drummond, ball at the back of the rolling maul now. They're going sideways. Referee says, use it, please. Goes off now, Fergus Berg. Ball on the outside to Will Jordan. One more pass. Doesn't link up, though, with Macca Springer, the two Tasman Marcos. Two Sharks not quite getting along. Good work, though, from Moana Pacifica to put on that extra pressure. Definitely broke their spot of Mick. And also he'll probably win, or will probably win this thing again. Reading a book on Christian Cullen. What a player. What do you think, Amos? Yeah, very talented player, Christian Cullen. Just a shame that his injuries ended up sneaking in when he was getting really, really good. How many titles has South Africa teams won again? I think one. The Bulls? Did the Bulls win it? Well, the Bulls might have had three, did they? No, how many times the Bulls won? So they are going to be making a couple changes now. Once again, 15 minutes remaining. It's going to be now Ma'u on the field for Fa'alangi. Thrown in, stolen by the Crusaders. 1-3, Super Rugby 14. What's the score? It's currently 34 points to 7 still, Tony. So she's getting close to the end of the match. 14 minutes remaining, but there's still time for the Crusaders to get a few more points on the board. Mitch Drummond goes off. Oh, that was weird. That was like a stutter step from Dom Gardner. Except, oh, what a ball that is to Bazza. Scott Barrett goes through, scores the try between the sticks. And now the Crusaders, they will move up to 41 points on the board. Oh, we'll go like this and like that. We've got to update the scoreboard ourselves. There we go. Now you're getting up to 48 points. Should I cook a steak or stay and watch this historic comeback? I think the steak's the safe option now, Tony. At this stage, I had a steak tonight, Tony. We were twins. Dog roll. Maybe don't cook the dog. Oh, no, that's Scott Barrett's nickname, isn't it? You could cook dog roll. I don't know how it would go. Would a dog enjoy a warm dog roll more than a cold dog roll? I wonder. Also stay for the comeback. Called it a few minutes ago, says Grant. And only teams to win 3 Super Rugby 14. Says Nate. Boring, says Michael Gray. Try time, says customer boy. Oh, sorry, boy customer. 3 more reasons to go to Europe. Now 4 out of 6. Currently, Fergus Burke should be a nice easy one, which is why I already gave them the points, making it 41 points to 7 with 13 minutes remaining. But Scott Barrett, the try scorer, doesn't often get himself too many, but it was a nice short ball. Defensively reading that one. Moana Pacifica just missed that pass, and Tamatini saw it straight away. Bro, since half time, mate. There's a Michael. We had a lot of scrums in the second half, that is for sure. A lot of stoppages. They are just showing the next game is going to be on the 27th of May. That will be next weekend, 4:30 p.m. on the Saturday. Crusaders taking on the Waratahs, just around the corner. Now, Willie Harvili kicks it up high. Nicely taken there by Zach Gallagher. Getting wrestled down there. The ball almost turned over. Yes, it is Moana Pacifica getting themselves the ball back. Start of that comeback, Tony. Could be on. Now, Lindenmuth. Set up at the line. Tackle well. Should mention Tom Christie now on the field. That is for Corey Callow. Put you off the field, and that is for Golter. Almost stolen. Yeah, that looked good. For Dom Gardner. Now Burke goes across. Ball on the outside to Che Fiaki, close to the touchline. Boot to ball. Geez, he's got a bit of that. Needed it to pull up, and it certainly does. Just inside of the in-goal area now. William Harvili going to run it out. Gets ankle tapped. Straight on the ball, though. Don't think there was clear release, so the Crusaders do have to give up on that fight. Being told to use it now. Jonathan Tamatine. Going off to the right-hand side. 11 minutes remaining. Only 10 metres out from their line. The Tila Tolai to spin out. Tamatine going to roll it back. Another kick incoming. Ball goes into touch. Line out now again for the Crusaders. The next game that we are doing, ladies and gentlemen, it will be about 45, maybe actually 55 minutes away at the moment. That is going to be the matchup between the Blues and the Reds. It is just around the corner, 9:35 p.m. kickoff. We will be covering that one on the channel. Whereas Richie is on All Blacks rest at the moment, the compulsory rest that the players do need to take at some stage throughout the Super Rugby competition. That is going to be a good kind of breakdown there for Moana Pasifika, but they don't quite get that turnover. Mitch Drummond goes off to the left-hand side. Will Jordan trying to step. Good tackle made on him by Finney Anisi. Didn't tip him up above the horizontal, so it is a good tackle. That's going to be the knock on there from the Crusaders. Although they've called, they've called the knock on against Moana Pacifica, but then he switched it around. Distracted. How do you like your steak? Says Obi. Now that is something that splits opinions, doesn't it? Crusaders, though, if they win this game for now, they will be sitting in second place on the table. They will have that extra game ahead of the Hurricanes, the Blues, the Waratahs, the Reds, the Brumbies, and the Force. All the other sides within the top 8. But all of these games are important because at the end of the day, if you get in that top 4, you got your home finals for a little bit longer. And the Super Rugby Comp can't wait for sevens tomorrow, says Tautala. Yeah, it's going to be a great one. Samoa in a tough group. They have got France. They've got Australia. And they also have Spain. 2 of those sides beat them by 20 points last week. And France ended up making it through to the semi-finals. So, yeah, it's going to be tough. I'm looking forward to seeing how they end up going. Second, nice. Says boy. A nice step from Levi and Moore in the midfield. The counter up there not quite working out for the Crusaders. Big shot coming in from Dom Gardner. Tamatine goes across again here. Levi and Moore stolen by Fiaki. Look for Grace. I believe might have got their hand to it just, and it will be that knock on. And another scrum for Moana Pacifica, maybe. Super 14 was a really snappy comp as well, mate, says Michael. Fiaki does well to get that turnover. Moana Pacifica, they did have numbers on their outside, but yeah, it actually came off the arm of Moana Pacifica. So now the Crusaders have got themselves that line out throw nicely taken by Grace. Tom Christie hits it up at the line. Good tackle made by Henry Teifu. Was actually captain last week. Didn't get to start this game. Drummond going off now to Will Jordan. Big shot. Again, that time it is on Dom Gardner. He's been very busy since making his way onto the field. Cullen Grace, big shot going on to him in his midsection. Also, if you're not eating your steak medium, you must have your whole mouth surgically removed. So does that mean if it's like under medium, like as in like blue or anything like that, rare, does that mean that that's not allowed, Grant? Or is it if they go higher than medium, then the mouth has to be surgically removed? I'd assume that's quite a hard task to do. Although I guess if you get some skin from somewhere else and stick it there, she'll be right. I also can't wait to see Elijah Nico play. He was a try-scoring machine and his tackles are just too strong, says Tautala. Yeah. Hopefully they give him some decent game time. Just because he hasn't had too much time in the past doesn't mean he won't have a real good crack here if he gets it right. Foreskin. Yeah, I don't know if that will be enough to cover the mouth hole. It may be, depending on the person, of course, but I would just say, like, that's still got a hole in it, though, NBC Tony. So you're working on something that's a flat surface, like maybe a butt cheek. Bit of skin off there, stick it on the middle, she'll be right. 7 minutes remaining. All Black Springboks taking place at Mount Smart Stadium. What's the final score going to be? Says Boy Customer. I mean, my score prediction of 42-18, other than the fact that the Crusaders have stopped Moana Pacifica a little bit more than my prediction. Like, I might not be a mile off. The Blues versus Reds. Just around the corner now. You can see that the crowd are absolutely loving it. Atmosphere at Mount Smart is very good. That one's gone down in the front rows again. Yeah, majority of the second half has been spent with the front rows collapsing. I don't like my steak well done. Yes, Hamish, medium rare, says Grant. Okay, so you're allowed anything lower than medium, is what you're saying. You ever had a blue steak, Grant? That's pretty much it. Give it to him. It's the orders of the chef. Stick some chips next to a bit of garlic butter. She'll be right. Now 74 minutes down. Hopefully there isn't another scrum reset here, but I have a bad feeling there will be. Tamatine about to feed the ball in. It's gone in nicely. They are now going to be going off to this near side. Willie Harvey tries the chip and chase. Works out for him in the end. Mitch Drummond did have the ball go through his hands. Straight back to him. Ball's loose. Tamatine picks it up. Off the bench, replacing Eritara Enery. The only thing more difficult than having your mouth removed will be eating a well-done steak. Well, you certainly need it if you have a well-done one. Definitely if it's like super well-done, like almost char-grilled. Who will win tomorrow, Hurricanes or the Chiefs? Says Bracky. It's a tough one because the Chiefs, they're up against the Hurricanes side that will be missing a few of their players, but the Hurricanes have still said they're confident that they will have enough talent to be able to get the job done. I think the Chiefs take it, though, to be honest. But, yeah, it could be a close game, which hopefully it is. I want it to be a hard one to split. Currently 5 minutes remaining in this one. There was another knock on, so we've got another scrum for the second half. I'm not sure what the numbers are now, but I would say that's about our 8th scrum of the half, somewhere around there. Absolutely loving it at the ground. People having fun with their flags. That one's upside down, unfortunately. They haven't worked that out yet. 75 minutes through. Yeah, nah, he's probably had too many drinks to realise that his flag was upside down. Sorry if the question offends you, but are you an Aussie or a Kiwi? The way you see garlic butter sounds Aussie. I think it's more when I take the piss, I sound Australian. So I'm Kiwi, but yeah, I do get a bit of an Aussie twang sometimes when I'm like exaggerating some words like garlic butter, you know? If you're eating a blue steak, you are an Avatar character, says Grant, and Scotch fillet medium, says Obi. Now ball available again for the Crusaders. Blue, says Obi. Now available. No, penalty goes the way of Moana Pacifica. Please tell me they're not going to choose a scrum. And final score 41-7. There's a chance. Thanks for letting us know, says Timmy. Get the charcoal firing. 2 minutes each way on the stakes. Washed down with a glass of Spates, says Michael there. That one will go into touch from Willie Havili. 3.5 minutes remaining. Beef is served raw too, says Obi. It is. Fun fact, you can't really do the same with chicken. Well, you can. It just might not end well, depending on the context or the contents of said chicken. Blues by 20 plus, says Spider Mick. Now going back across to the right-hand side. Shea Fiaki. Rush defense there from Levi and Miller. Will Jordan trying to clean it up. Instead, it's actually going to be taken by... It's going to be Golta. It up with that one. Now slung across. Jonathan Tamatine. Big shot coming in again. Available at the back. 77 gone. Levi and Moore trying to break the line. Here comes Tamatine. No, in fact, no, sorry. It is going to be instead Timothy Tavatava Nawai. He's got the man on his inside, still driving, but now driven into touch, dropped on his head. Good run from Timothy Tavatava Nawai, but he did have the passing option on the inside, which would have kept them in the field of play a little bit longer. And yes, there could have been a turnover for not releasing from it, but it might have still been a good choice. Runs over the top of Will Jordan. And Chicken must have to be well cooked. It certainly does try savers, says Michael Gray. Only 2 minutes remaining. The Crusaders once again looking for their halfback. Where is he? He's in the breakdown. Can't find him. Back into the pocket. To Fergus Burke. Almost partially charged down there. Ball goes into touch. This might be the last attacking chance for Moana Pacifica. Now, my score prediction at the start of this game was 42 points to 18. We can't quite get there. The Crusaders are as close as they can be to that prediction without being on it. Moana Pacifica, one more try here that's converted. I would accept it as slightly correct. Just a little bit. You know? Just looking at those odds, they're slowly getting closer between the Blues and the Reds as well. That's gone over the top for Moana Pacifica. Nicely run onto by Henry Taiafu. Now Ezekiel Lindemuth. A minute and a half remaining. This is probably one of the only games that the scoreboard has not updated at all. Seems like Drummond's actually been taken off the field for Hotham, maybe a bit of a HIA situation going on there. Moana Pacifica now move up to the 22. Going off to the right-hand side. Levi Amua trying to bump off the challenge of Macca Springer. Almost turned into a rolling ball. That ball's bounced out the side. Kicked forward by Cullen Grace. Will Jordan after it, but it sits up for Alamana Matanga. Taken down nicely by Jordan. It looks like the score stays the same. Here's Spider Mick. Tom Christie almost got the turnover there for the Crusaders. They just managed to hang on here. Moana Pacifica. Latero Tolai going back across here. William Arvili on the halfway line. Cross kick. Goes out to Tamothi Tavatava Nawai. Kicked forward once again by Gulta. Close to the sideline. Arvili just stays in by inches. Now a bit of a counteract there from the Crusaders, and the ball does drift into touch. I believe it will be a line-out throw for Moana Pacifica. Couldn't get the ball in the end because Hotham was hanging on to it. Oh, bit of push and shove there. Tensions are running high. Still talking. Now he's trying to go after another guy because he pushed him away. And now he gets pushed by his teammate. Make sure he doesn't swing at him. Not happy at the moment. Naroni Nakuru. That ends now, says the ref, and not just because the game's almost over. Going to be a line out for Moana Pacifica, their last chance of the day. Now sitting 41 points to 7, so under 50 would have got you paid in this game, which probably wouldn't have been expected. That was a jump there from Moana Pacifica. They just go to the front. Ball stolen by Cullen Grace, and it looks like they might have one last crack here. Hotham. They've already got the bonus point, though, here. The Crusaders, if they keep on playing, they are playing more for that points differential if they really want to. Hotham goes short side, gets hit hard. They'd be stupid if they end up with an injury here, though. That's all I'm going to say. Not happy. On the back of a hiding, says Michael. Counter up there. It's a knock on. Going back for the penalty for the Crusaders. So Fergus Burke wants to kick this one for the corner here. Yeah, you wouldn't want to. Yeah, Scott Barrett says that's enough. The voice of reason there. He says, nah, we're good. We've got the win. We've got the bonus point. Scott, he's an experienced bloke, and he knows there's no point risking someone getting injured to play one last final moment in this contest. But that will be the end of it. 41 points to 7. Crusaders victorious over Moana Pacifica. So the next game that we are covering will be starting in 40 minutes' time. The Reds taking on the Blues. But anyone who is new, sure leave a like and subscribe to the channel. We've got plenty more rugby coming up this weekend with Super Rugby, the Sevens as well. Well done, Crusader supporters. Our team is very good, 41 points to 7. There's boy customer in there as well. But thank you all very much for tuning in. I will see you all in about maybe 40 minutes time or so for Blues versus Reds.